Hi everybody, my name is Danielle Nicole and welcome to Monetary Makeup. So today is going to be all about the brows. Now if you have a fair cool undertone as well as blonde hair like me, you probably struggle to find the correct brow pencil shade. And not only shade, but the right brow pencil texture. So today we are going to be testing out the brand new Benefit Gimme Brow Volumizing Pencil. So this is actually a completely new formula that Benefit just released. So not only is this your traditional brow pencil, but it is supposed to have volumizing fibers as well as powder built into the pencil. Now if you have sparse brows like me, you're definitely in the right place. I unfortunately overplucked in the 90s. I'm a 90s kid, what can I say? So let's put this brow pencil to the test. Now as you can see, I picked up two different shades. So if you're excited to get started and enjoy the video while you're watching, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and let's get started right now. So the new Benefit Gimme Brow Volumizing Pencil retails for $24 US, and it comes in 1.19 grams or 0.042 ounces. Now I know they typically say to use a shade that is your exact brow color. However, as a fair blonde, I typically find having two different shades is the best way for me. So my goal is to find one shade that is close enough to my brows and one shade that's a little bit deeper. Now I personally prefer my brows to be a little bit on the cooler or ashier side, so I really hope these pencils don't lean warm or red. So the two different shades I picked up are 2.5 Neutral Blonde. Now 2.5 Neutral Blonde does appear to lean on the neutral to cool side, so I'm super excited for this shade. 3.5 Neutral Medium Brown. Alright, I'm super excited because both shades 2.5 as well as 3.5 appear to lean on the neutral to cool side. Now for you fellow blondes out there, I did swatch the shade Cool Blonde, and that shade appeared to be just too light for the brows that I'd like to create. Now this brow pencil is in Benefit's typical packaging. So you have the product on one side and a spoolie on the other. Now I quite enjoy how soft Benefit's brow spoolie is. However, it is a little bit long for my liking. Alright, Benefit Gimme Brow Volumizing Pencil. Let's see if you can volumize my sparse brows. Now quick disclaimer, I am not a professional makeup artist. I have sparse brows, as I mentioned, and I will say that I typically do struggle with my brow application. So we'll see how easy or difficult this brow pencil applies. Now I am holding up my favorite brow brush. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It is double-sided with a brush on one end and a small spoolie on the other. Now I typically do one brow at a time. You guys are going to have to let me know if you work in sections or do one brow like me. Alright, so my sad brows have been brushed up, so let's get started with application. Shade 2.5 Neutral Blonde. Now I do have the Benefit Gimme Brow. We'll see if I end up needing to use that product in addition to a pencil. Probably, because I do like my brows to have a little bit of texture. So I'm just starting off by outlining the front of my brows with shade 2.5. Now as I mentioned, this brow pencil is supposed to have fibers as well as powder built into the actual pencil. Now it's probably going to be a little bit difficult to see shade 2.5, which I'm actually pretty excited about. I know that's not helpful for you guys, but I was looking for a shade that matched my brows, and that is typically difficult to find. Most brow pencils I find are too dark or they lean too warm. Shade 2.5 seems to match my brows perfectly. So I'm lightly feathering up in the front. I think I'm going to take shade 2.5 all the way across, and then we will dip into 3.5 in a second here. Now this texture is interesting. Usually when I use a brow pencil, it feels a little bit more creamy. This definitely feels, I don't want to say it's pulling on the skin or anything like that, but I can certainly feel that there is powder within the pencil. Now I'm also liking shade 2.5 because I can be a little bit aggressive and messy with this shade just because it actually matches my brows perfectly. I am so excited for this shade. Alright, let's brush these brows up just to see where we are at. Now I did not do any sort of filling in yet. I simply outlined the top and the bottom. Alright, so nothing on this brow. shade 2.5 outlined on the top and bottom only. Alright, I think that looks really nice. I could definitely see myself only using the shade 2.5 if I want to match my brows perfectly. But next, let's dip into shade 3.5. So my brows are kind of interesting. They're a little bit thicker right here, and then there's kind of a dip in this area. So this is where I start to apply a darker brow pencil. So I'm going to apply the same application method just to get started. Simply lining the top and bottom. I don't like to fill in my brows until I'm completely done in certain sparse areas, because I don't like that blocky brow look, just not for me. Alright, so this shade is definitely deeper than my brows, which I like. I'm concentrating 3.5 more towards the tail. Now, the one thing that's standing out to me right now is that there are supposed to be volumizing fibers in this pencil. Now, I'm not denying that. However, I'm not really seeing those fibers, at least at this point in time. Add just a little bit towards the center. Alright, so shade 3.5 definitely added a more sculpted look. So now let me brush the brows out a bit. Now I am finding this pencil is very easy to use. So I know what I was thinking earlier. This is not a super creamy pencil, which I know a lot of people like. I personally don't, just because I'm so fair. I find that when I use a super creamy brow pencil, it almost goes on like a Sharpie, and that just is not the look I'm going for. So now I'm just filling in just a couple of spots with shade 3.5. Alright, let's brush them up again. Now it's definitely not necessary to pick up 2 shades. However, I do find with that kind of cool ash blonde / light ash brown tone that I'm looking for, I typically cannot get that with just one brow color. Now I just went a little bit too far down right here, so I want to see if this spoolie will remove it or if I'm going to have to use a concealer. Okay, that removed very easily, so I like that you have a little bit of time to work, because I believe these are 12-hour proof. Let me check. Yeah, so this pencil claims to be 12 hours, long wear, transfer proof, waterproof, natural looking texture and fullness, and easy mess-free application. Going back in with shade 2.5. Now you could definitely sharpen this pencil to give those more precise strokes, but I just wanted to see how it did without that application method. Alright, I think we are good, you guys. Alright, so let's brush them up one more time here. Alright, so nothing on this brow. Shade 2.5 and 3.5 on my left. Alright, you guys, I know my bangs look funny since they're pushed out of the way, but ignoring that, I think this brow pencil looks so good. I am not usually a brow pencil person, and that's because they usually don't give me a natural looking brow, but I think they look pretty natural. What do you guys think? Alright, let me speed through the right brow here so I can get evened out a bit. Now you can backstroke your brows going in the opposite direction of the way the hairs grow, and I do find using that application method gets more of the pigment on the skin. Now this brow always gives me a little bit of trouble just because it's my bad brow. Do you guys have a good brow and a bad brow? I definitely do. Please forgive the fact that my skin is glowing to the gods right now. It's about 90 degrees in my house right now. So no matter how much powder I apply, I am just certainly luminous. I should have applied my Danessa Myricks Balm Powder because that stuff controls oils so well. Yeah, it's so interesting. As I mentioned, this is not a super creamy pencil. So it's almost like the convenience of a powder and fibers in a pencil, which is nice. All All right, let me get some of this dewiness off. I certainly have enough oils to cover an entire state. All right, so this is what the brows are looking like with shade 2.5 and 3.5 on. Let me move my bangs out of the way again. So what do you guys think? You know, I actually think my brows look pretty darn good if I do say so myself, and I keep mentioning how sparse they typically look. I do feel like the pencils give a very natural effect, so far so good. All right, before I let you guys go, let me next add the Gimme Brow in the shade 3. That way you can see what the brows look like with a little bit of brow gel in them. Have you guys tried NYX's version of Benefit's Gimme Brow? I have, and I really enjoy it. I noticed that it's more of like a brow glue where it really holds your brows in place, and that one definitely has fibers in them. I would say Benefit's is a little bit more natural. I don't find it holds my brows perfectly in place all day, but if I want the more natural fluffy look, this is a great product. All right, I feel like that just completely tied the look together. So no Gimme Brow on this brow, Gimme Brow on the left. Yeah, I really like that. As I mentioned, I just feel like it really tied in the look, having my brows stand up and look a little bit more fluffy. All right, let's get the right brow on. I'm left-handed, so I apologize if this eye or brow is a little bit more difficult to see. I've tried the lighter shades, and I actually like shade 3. I find it's gives me a little bit darker of a brow, but not too dark, if that makes sense. All right, so this is what the brows are looking like with Benefit Gimme Brow shade number 3. So what do you guys think now that we have the brow gel on? All right, let me fix my bangs and I'll be right back for my final thoughts. So I'm actually going to finish out my makeup off camera since this video is just about the new Benefit Volumizing pencils. So let me know what you guys think below about these new pencils. So real quick, there are actually 2 different caps. I'm not sure if you noticed that before. Now I accidentally applied this cap on top of the brow pencil, and hopefully you can see it unfortunately smashed the pencil. So make sure you apply the correct cap, otherwise you might lose some of your product like I just did. Now the cap aside, a couple things I wanted to mention. This video was not sponsored, and I did purchase these brow pencils myself. Now the reason I mention that is because I notice on YouTube there are a lot of sponsored Benefit videos, so just wanted to mention, did purchase this myself. Now as far as my final thoughts go, I actually was not a fan of the original brow pencil that Benefit has. Now it's not that it's a bad brow pencil by any means. I know it is super popular, but it just wasn't one of my favorites. But this brow pencil, you guys, this is so good. Now if you like a super creamy, very pigmented brow pencil, then perhaps this pencil wouldn't be for you. But if you like the look of a very fluffy, natural, almost powdery-like consistency, this brow pencil is amazing. I love how they applied almost like a powder, and it was very easy to clean up any mistakes. As I mentioned, I didn't even have to clean up with concealer. So let me know down below, have you guys picked up this new volumizing pencil? If you did, what was your experience? What shades did you get? Let us know all your thoughts down below. Alright you guys, well I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye guys!